Hi, this is a video today that I felt really the urge to do. Like, I didn't think I was going to do a video so soon after the last one, but today I just had a really strong intuition to do this because I had a major thing, a real enlightening, a real awakening to something just within the last 24 hours. I wanted to do it outside today too, and when I got up this morning it's like raining, and I thought, oh, I really want to do it outside because it's a little chilly, but it's still, just right. This is a video about patterns, okay? And I had some things happen really recently. I'm going to tell you the stories. I'm not going to go into them in detail, but I'm going to hit just the stories that have happened to me really recently, like last week, and then just really a few months ago, and the same kind of thing, exactly the same pattern as happened recently, to the time before, to the time before, to the time before, right back as long as I can remember. When I was like 3, it started then, or maybe even sooner, but I don't remember sooner, but 3. And this goes back not just this lifetime, I know, it goes back a long time. It's the same pattern. And what it is, it's a pattern for something deep, deep, deep within my spirit, within my eternal soul, deep, 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 that I have not dealt with in a very, very, very long time. And when I awoke to this today, through a meditation I had this morning and another one, kind of one last night, I really came to terms with something. And that is that I had to actually bring out of my very deep soul the warrior that I had turned away from a long time ago. That's what I realized. I'm going to tell you about that. It's pretty powerful. And in order to tell you, I have to tell you the circumstances, okay? But as I say, I won't go into detail. I'll just kind of hit upon the points. Okay, back in July, a friend of mine had gotten herself into some major financial trouble. She'd run up a credit card to, she owed like $31,000 on it. And she wanted to sell her house. And she couldn't do it because she had to sell it because she was moving. And she couldn't do it because there was a lien on the house. And so she couldn't sell the house. Now, she was telling me about this day, and, tearful, and she was like a really good friend. And I thought, well, if I can help her, I'm going to try to help her because, she's my friend. So I said, if you can negotiate this visa down to $15,000, I will go to my bank and I will get like a credit line and I'll give you the money and you can pay me back when you sell the house. Well, she managed to negotiate it down to $22,000. So I said, okay. So I said, all right. And I went and I got the credit line that I, obviously am responsible for. And I gave her the money and she handled the situation so that she could sell the house and relocate. That's all fine. What occurred after that was a series of incidents in the next few months. Well, that was like July, so it would have been not that long ago. Anyway, what ensued then were a series of incidents whereby she got the money, but there was always kind of like a hesitancy or something on paying me. And I mean, meanwhile, I had this credit line with an interest happening every month. So finally I said, okay, you got to do this. And so again, it was another like month or so, whatever. In any case, what happened was through a series of incidents, she said to me, well, not that long ago, well, can you help me pay the loan? You're my friend and you said you would help me. Can you help me pay the loan? And I thought, okay. Well, I said, okay, here's how I can help you. I'll pay all the interest on it. And then I said, well, I'll pay to have your, I paid a bunch of stuff for her in any case. And I said, I can do that. So anyway, she thought that was fine. Then really recently, she became very upset with me because I had decided that when I was gonna leave, I was gonna give all my furniture, as you heard in my other video that I just put out. I wanted to give all my furniture to some really incredible people that I had met who were doing a lot of good for humanity. Missionaries who were doing work in Rwanda. Look at the other video, the story's there. Anyway, so she was very, very upset by this. And she felt I had betrayed her because I'd given my stuff to other people and not her. So she is no longer my friend by her choice. And that's okay. That's not what the video this is about. What this is about is, and I'm fine. Like I've already let go of the whole thing and I'll handle it, But what I realized was that I started thinking about this and I thought, this same thing happened to me back in August at my house in Winnipeg. I wanted to get it painted because I was going to sell it. So I had a friend, and he had a friend who was a painter that I'd met, an older man. He's a really good painter. And I thought, well, he's a nice man and he does a great job. So he gave me an estimate. He came and he said $2,500 for the whole house, and I said, well, okay, that's not bad. I'll do that. Well, he actually came with a helper, and the story he gave me first was, yeah, I'll bring in a crew and whatever. He brought one guy, and he was there like, I'd say probably maybe 2.5 days, and each time, first I gave him a down payment to pay for stuff. And anyway, I ended up paying him $3,500. He left after 2.5 days and never returned. And my house was not, my house was painted, well, not quite half. So I thought, well, I guess it looks okay to do the photos to sell it. And the real estate agent said, don't worry about it. So anyway, so, again, he gave me the sub story. Well, I was sick, or I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that, and I do need more money because da-da-da-da. So, me with my heart. Okay, well, so I ended up giving him that money, and he took off, and I never saw him again. And I laugh because this is, again, it's not about either situation. It's about me. Time before that, the friend who had referred the painter, that I got the painter from, now he needed money back earlier because he had to pay his insurance on his vehicle because he couldn't drive and he needed his vehicle, and, could I help? And so I paid the insurance on it, $150, so that he could drive his vehicle to do the work he needed to do. So then, this is now like a year ago in the summer, and so my house needed a bunch of rocks delivered. That's going to put all around the backyard. And I said, well, if you want, why don't you, you can pay me back the $150 by coming and helping with the rocks. So he says, oh yeah, that'd be great. And I said, great, because Dean and I are going to do it, and it's like a yard of rocks. It's heavy for, us old guys. So anyway, I was supposed to come this day. The rocks were all there, and, he didn't come. And then later he apologized, says, oh, I'm sorry, I slept. I said, okay, well, Dean and I did it all, and it was heavy work for the two of us to do all of that in my backyard. Like, we're not like, we're not kids. But we did it. And this same guy, I paid his insurance a number of months before, because same story, needed, and only this time it was through another friend, right? His friend, who happened to be at my house. And his friend says, oh, do you have the money? Can you lend me the money and I can give it to him? I said, yeah, okay. So I gave him the money. He then loaned him my money, and he paid his truck insurance. It was a big thing. He had to do it that day and all that. And meanwhile, I never got that back because the other guy, he thought the other guy gave it to him, which he didn't. I did. Again, you see a pattern here? I started to. This same pattern. I mean, I could go on and on, but it's like just hitting a few things along the line of my, this pattern history that I have. And again, it's a flaw in me. I mean, obviously it's stuff with those guys too, but that's not what I'm concerned about. It's actually my issue. So, like a few years ago when I was teaching voice, I had a student who came, and he was going to university and he didn't have any money, and and I'd known him since he was a little kid, and taught him when he was a little kid actually. His voice had been destroyed by another teacher, a few years earlier. So I said, okay, well, I'll take you, and we'll take your voice back to the bottom, strip it all down, and start again. And I don't want you to pay me out because you're going to university and you're trying to do this and stuff. So anyway, I took him for 3 years, and we built his voice back up and changed it, and it was fantastic and all that. But in any case, he got a teaching job not far from where I lived in Winnipeg, on Clearwater, and he used to go by every single day on his bike to the school. Not once did he ever stop in and say, hey, or how you doing, or I'm thinking about you. Nothing. No birthday wishes, no Merry Christmas, nothing. Just boom, gone. That happened with a number of my students actually, that I poured my heart and soul into. But anyway, again, the pattern. See the pattern? Now, zipping back many years, like I was a little kid and going to school, I had a best friend, Nellie. Nellie was my best friend. From, the first day of school, we became best friends. Nellie was from this really ragamuffin family, lots of brothers and sisters, and, our family didn't have that much. My dad was a fisherman. But every day my mom gave me a nickel to go to the penny candy store, Edwin's store, and buy penny candy. Well, I always gave Nellie half of everything I had. I gave her half of everything I had. And I shared everything with her. And one day, Nellie and a few other kids decided that they were going to, ambush me at another kid's place. So we all went there, thinking we were going to have some fun that afternoon. I was about like 8. And they all ambushed me. One held my arms behind my back. The other one punched my stomach. And, they beat the hell out of me. And I was heartbroken because Nellie was my best friend. She was one of the ones. And, I was a pretty interesting little kid, because when the kid was holding my arms, I remember behind my back, I used it to brace myself, put my feet up, and I kicked the other kid in the stomach while they were punching me. They broke my glasses. I never cried. I pulled myself together. I was kind of beat up and stuff, and I got on my bike and I went home. And when I got home, I cried because I was so betrayed. So betrayed. I didn't expect that, because I'd been a creative kid, and I'd created games for these kids. Like, I was then who I am now. When we first moved into the house that we moved into from in the village where I grew up, 900 people village. When we first moved in there, I was 3, and we come from a land where I first moved into when I was a baby. And it was, I didn't even see kids for the first couple of years of my life, except I had a baby sister who was born when I was 2.5. But anyway, so we moved into the village, and as we were moving in that day, my dad was unloading all this stuff from this old half-ton truck, and there was a gate, and I got on the gate, and I started standing there, and all these kids were coming around, little dirty kids, all raggedy, in this really old village, like a long time ago. And I said, come on over, we're moving in. I'd never seen kids before, and I was so excited. And I invited them all to come in, come in. Well, they all came in, and before too long, they were beating me up. I remember one kid, she was 3 years older than me, and she used to hold me down on the ground and spit on my face while the other kids would cheer her on. And, her sister would come get my mother, who would come and pull her off me. And, I was like 3 years younger. I was like 4. In any case, this happened my entire life, and lots of other ones throughout university and stuff. I had the same thing happen with friends. All my life. So anyway, what I realized was, do you think there's a pattern here? Yeah, there's pattern. And the pattern that I realized was, I have deep within myself a sleeping warrior that woke up with this latest incident. I woke up like today, but I had a sleeping warrior, but I didn't want to look there or see that, because I don't know yet why, but I know that there's something painful connected to it. I do know that. I don't even care right now what it is, but what I do know is, what I've always done is, it's not that I haven't been able to see the darkness in people, I have, but I've also been able to really see the light. My whole life, I've been able to see the light and the good and the magic. Look at my other videos, I talk about it, of the human being. I've been able to see the magic in humans. And it was my total truth that if I put my focus and my attention on the good and the magic and the beauty in the being, that's what would come out, and that's what I could bring. I could wipe away the darkness and wipe away the shadows that I saw. If I could just focus on that, the rest would somehow dissipate. And I really believed that, which is why I did everything I did in my life. It was because I believed that. It's not that I couldn't see the darkness. It was that I didn't think it was valid. I thought the light was what was valid. But what I came to realize was that I cannot dissipate or heal or disintegrate anybody else's shadows by looking only at their light and bringing that out. I can do that and help everything I can to fortify and strengthen and help the person realize or come to the magic of who they are just simply by loving that part of them. But I cannot disintegrate the darkness in anyone by only looking at the light. I mean, it helps, but they got to handle their own darkness. And this darkness is a thread, and I see it run through humanity. I see this thread run through humanity, this thread of darkness. Now, humanity, as you know from my videos, I love humanity. I mean, look at all my videos. The Quiet Moments ones, it's all there. I know the magic of humanity. I know it. I know the power and the magic that we are. And I know that that is very big in humanity. It's why we're being attacked right now. It's why we're being attacked by the systems, all the systems. Go to my earlier videos, look at them. I talk about it. But we are being attacked, humanity. They're trying to poison us. They're trying to separate us from God. This is a spiritual war we are in right now. But the war is not just with the systems and with the governments and with trying to maintain or even find our sovereignty and stand up for our rights. That's only a part of it. I realized the war, the spiritual war, it's layered right down into the moments of our lives. It's layered down into the very now moment when we're interacting with somebody in front of us who is manipulating or is self-centered, who is or trying to, trick you into giving them what they want for their own darkness. And I saw that. I saw it. And I thought, because my flaw was that I didn't really want to look there. I mean, I knew it'd be there. I could see it. But I felt that I could bring out the light. That's what I felt I could do. And I felt that I could overpower that, with who I am, with what I believe, and with my truth. And I realized everybody has to handle their own darkness. And they will continue to go down those threads until they do. I can't do a thing about it. The only thing I can do is I can bless them, I can pray for them, and I don't put any negative energy or thought or anything toward anybody, even all of those people I just mentioned. I hold nothing against them, because I see what Satan has done to humanity. And I see that they're the victims of that. Now, they have choice, obviously. They all have free will. Everybody's got free will. And I think people on some level know that what's right, and I think they know what's wrong, but they choose. If they choose a dark path, they chose a dark path, and God, I believe, and I know, because He's done it to me, God keeps giving us the lessons over and over and over again, each one getting a little bit more painful until we learn. I'll tell you a funny little thing God and I had happen. We've had a few things. There was this person I used to be fairly close to, and I thought was a friend, thought was a close friend. And we used to go walking. And every time I'd be get close to this person, or, would want to go walking, my feet would swell. I'd have one foot that swelled, or the other one. And I couldn't go walking much with this person because of the swollen foot. So then when I would be away from the person for periods of time, my feet weren't swollen, my feet were fine. The person came back into my life, my feet would swell again. And so God was kind of saying to me, this person ain't so good for you, honey. Another thing that happened in the same connection with this person was I really could sense the shadow and the darkness, and it was coming in bigger all the time, and I could see it, but I didn't want to believe it. So I could see it, and I'd kind of get, enlightened. So this day I said to God, I said, look, if you see me, and let me tell you, God's got a sense of humor. Don't kid yourself about that. I said, if you see me, going off the path I should be on, if you see me, getting a little stupid, give me a kick in the head. About a week later, I was in my place and I was sitting on the toilet, and I got up and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. And I knocked my head on a doorknob or something so hard I gave myself a concussion. I tell you, once I kind of healed from that a little bit, I said, okay, not so hard next time, okay? God said to me, God says to me, the only way I can get your attention is if I give you some sort of body pain. I can't get your attention unless I give you some sort of body pain. And I got to kind of give it to you a little bit more until I get your attention, till you got to stop doing whatever it is you're doing, because I'm going to give you more body pain. Well, I finally learned that one. It's don't kid yourself, okay? God's got a sense of humor, a really good one. And I must say, a lot of patience. God has a lot of patience, particularly with, also a lot of love for everybody. So, what I came to realize is that the warrior in me has been asleep because of everything I told you. And I realized that part of sovereignty, which, I talk about, again, look at my videos. If you wonder about my interactions with government officials, look at the one where I talk about, I think it's called Intimate and Personal. It's, I don't know, number 5 or something. It's my first trip across the border, come back into Canada, and it's the one where I was forced to put a mask on to go inside this building to talk with these Canadian officials, and I didn't have a mask, and I ended up going in there, and they said, well, you need a mask. And so they said I could put anything over my face, so I brought in a pair of my underwear, and I pulled it over my face, and I looked through the leg holes, and I talked to them. They were saying, you got to do a PCR test. I said, I'm not doing a PCR test. No way. Anyway, look at the video. It's kind of funny. That's toward the end more. Then when I talked with the person from Health Canada, because they'd quarantined me, I was at the border all of 15 minutes. They wouldn't let me across. Anyway, when I talked to Health Canada, they were saying, well, your quarantine is, if you don't do the PCR test, we're just going to quarantine you until you do. And I said, I had enough, and I said, yeah, you think you can do that? I said, I'll bring Health Canada down. If you think I can't, you watch me. I'm starting with you. I am starting with you. I let her have it. Never called back again. Nobody bothered me again. But in any case, I'm sure they flagged me, which is probably why I had a hard time getting across the border. Oh, it's this one. In any case, it's on my earlier video. It's a funny story. But speaking about sovereignty, sovereignty is not just, it's not only saying, no, sorry, that violates my rights, my God-given rights, I'm not doing it. Sovereignty is more than that. Sovereignty is being willing to stand up when your very essence, the core of who you are, is being attacked by somebody you know. In the most recent case, I found out that this person that I had done a lot for, quite frankly, was telling very bad stories about me to people and spreading a lot of negativity about me and what a bad person I was and how I did all these bad things, and which weren't true. And when I realized that this was happening, I thought, well, first I thought, it's got really nothing to do with me, really. And then I thought, wait a minute, it most certainly does have something to do with me, because what it's doing, it's just tapping into my spiritual energy, and it's actually putting a negative thing there, which is carrying forward and spreading. That's spell casting. That is spell casting. That is what was going on. And I thought, no, I got to bring out the warrior here. I have to bring out the warrior. So I dug and I found the warrior, and I thought, now the warrior, my warrior is not a warrior that goes in with a dagger and slashes and knocks and brings people down. That's not my warrior. My warrior is truth. My truth is my sword. My sword is severing the lines of negativity and darkness that are being thrown onto my spirit by satanic threads that this person is the victim of. And the other people too, same thing. Same negativity, same stuff. On one of the earlier ones, what I had to do, because I could feel the energy, I'm quite sensitive, I could feel the energy, and I actually had to not only block that person, I had to block every single person that person was connected to that also was connected to me. I had to find everyone and block every one of them, everyone, every which way, because I had to block that energy from coming, because I knew it was coming at me from more than one angle. And that's destructive crap. That's spell casting. That's what that is. And it's not coming from the God and the good. The God created those beings. It's not coming from there. It's coming from the satanic thread that's been wound around humanity for a very, very long time. That is the satanic thread. We are now severing. We who are working with the light and working with truth and working with holding our light and our truth and our sovereignty and our magic and our power as humanity, we are severing that satanic thread. We're cutting it all to shreds. That is what we are doing, and there are millions of us on this planet right now and beyond. We're getting a lot of help. We're getting it galactically. We're getting it from God. We're getting it from Yeshua Emmanuel. Told you about him in the last video. The satanic forces have called him Jesus. That's what they called him. His name wasn't Jesus. It was Yeshua Emmanuel. That's why I don't use the word Jesus. The Christ, we are getting it from the Christ, from the team that he worked with, still working with, and we're getting so much help as humanity, and the light is pouring in on this global heaven we've got. We are turning this hell that this planet has been put through into a heaven, and this is happening, and this is happening right now, and it's coming into 2022. It is coming 2023. There's a whole new world coming, and we are building it, and we're building it with the light and with God. That's how we're building it, and with care and with the love we have in our hearts for humanity. There's a great awakening, and I realized that what had to awaken in me was my warrior. That's my warrior. That's my truth. My sword is my truth, and my power is my willingness to bring out my sword and no longer turn my back and say, well, I guess I'll just, absorb that one and, just count it up to another lesson. No, I was given enough lessons whereby I went, okay, I got the lesson. No more am I a victim of any kind of darkness designed by the dark threads to stop my light. No more. That's why I had to talk to you today. That's why I had to tell you this. It's probably about 50 degrees here. It's cloudy. It was raining. It stopped raining long enough for me to come out and do this, which I was really happy about, because I wanted to do it out here. I really did. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my soul. I thank you from the heavens and from the beautiful earth for spending this time with me, for allowing me to share my truth with you. Make no mistake, I hold nothing against anybody. No, I put no negativity on anybody, no matter what they have done. It's their karma, it's not mine. But I won't be the victim of it. Never again. Ever. And I'm introducing you, my friends, who I treasure with all my heart and soul. I treasure you from my heart. I am introducing you to my warrior. The warrior is out. The warrior rides in the light. I got my sword of truth, and I'm armed. I'm armed with the light, and I love you. I love you. You are welcome in my heart. You're welcome. That's all I have to say to you today. Thank you. Thank you. There's an incredible power in finding your true strength, and it comes every moment. But you got to dig deep to find it sometimes. That's what I've been doing. Blessings. To you.